So in class the other day, somebody asked about curating a student's writing style. And I had a lot of thoughts going through my head because I personally have a very unique writing style, and it kind of got me thinking, how did I get here? Um, it was a series of things that got me to where I am, and I can safely say I'm really happy with my writing style right now. And a lot of that can actually be attributed to things that I learned as a student from my English teachers. For example, in my personal writing, I am really big on the use of simile and metaphor. And I never would have really thought to use simile and metaphor if I hadn't been taught how to use simile and metaphor, if I hadn't been exposed to poets that use simile and metaphor, or to authors that use it. I'm a very descriptive writer, so simile metaphor is just kind of something I gravitate towards. And when I ask my friends to describe my writing style, a lot of the time the first thing they go to is the fact that I use a lot of similes and metaphors. And I'm sorry, my cat doesn't want me to talk right now. The next thing that I want to talk about is actually something that was mentioned by one of the instructors, and that was that a lot of students will imitate their favorite authors' writing when they start writing, and I would say that's absolutely something that I started doing. I probably did it in school. Actually, I know I did it in school because in first grade, the first story that I wrote was actually kind of based on one of my favorite stories of the time. It was about a little boy named David. I can't remember the actual book. But I know especially after high school is when I started to really find my writing style, and that was when I discovered Charles Bukowski. And I started reading his books and his poetry, and naturally my writing style just evolved into what it is now. And it's very raw and honest and at times bitter, and I love it. I don't know, I love the rawness of it. And I think that providing students the opportunity to explore authors' work, to explore poetry, to explore literature, and giving them resources that they can explore is essential in helping them develop their own writing style. And also, I think a really big one is to not criticize our students on their writing style, just because it isn't necessarily something that we like. For example, like I said, I write very raw and honest and bitter, and I don't make things fluffy or sweet. That's a lie. I can't make things fluffy or sweet. But I'm not going to criticize a student that writes nothing but romance. No, I'm going to support that because it's obviously something that they're very passionate about. But yeah, I think the answer to how do we help a student curate their writing style is to provide them with the resources that they can use to help, like giving them poetry and books and authors, and most importantly, allowing them time to write. I think that is the most important thing we can do as teachers, is give our students time to write. And I guess that's all I really want to say on this topic. I know that some teachers worry about creating students that like are all the same, but I know that if we provide them with the right resources, we're going to have classrooms full of individual, unique writers that are writing brilliant pieces that are so true to them, and that's something I'm really looking forward to as a teacher.